Omnipresent Dharma gates, I vow to experience. Have you been practicing with that since the morning, or did you just completely forget it? Or both? Is to treat our life in this way, to vow to enter all experience wholeheartedly, right? Not to turn away from anything, not to turn away from any phenomena, not to turn away from any person, any situation, right? To not avoid it, to really move into it. And when we do that in a certain way, a certain quality of our own attention, it can be transformative. Can really turn us and open us our own, I would call it bodhisattva potential. That's what this path is, this Mahayana Buddhist path. Now, entering the gate is it's an interesting metaphor, and it kind of brings up some interesting questions about how to do that. When we meaning Shishin Roshi and Shinko Roshi back 20 years ago now, decided to rewrite or retranslate the Bodhisattva vows, which we had been doing. The original first Bodhisattva vows is sentient beings are numberless, I vow to save them. And now we say no. And I actually don't remember what our old phrasing is of the third Bodhisattva vow about Dharma gates. Do you? Somebody quickly Google it while I'm talking. There's somebody online. Original wording of the third Bodhisattva vow. I wanted it to be Dharma, omnipresent Dharma gates. I vow to enter. That made more sense to me than to experience. But see, both of these words, actually, experience and enter, have something, have a koan kind of embedded within them. I mentioned about experience in my opening remarks, right? I mean, Dogen is quite clear that he says to carry the self. There's something, that seems to be a conflict there. That's why I think the way to look at that is to Dharma gates, I vow to allow to experience themselves. I vow to invite omnipresent Dharma gates to experience themselves. Okay, now we're getting into something of the richness of our practice. Similarly with enter, enter the gate. Say I want to enter that gate, but we have this primary koan. The moment. That brings that up. Mumon himself said, Zen has no gates. The purpose of Buddha's preaching is to dispel the clouds of delusion and to allow the sun of enlightenment to blaze forth from your own mind. There's no gate there. Just as medicines are prescribed by a doctor according to the nature of the sickness, the teachings are provided by Buddha according to the condition of the disciple's mind. So the essence of the teaching has no particular form or mold. This is Nyozen Senzaki that I'm quoting here, commenting on Mumon. And he says this is what Mumon means in saying Zen is gateless. It's like this notion that, oh, well, there it is, you know, there's the doorway I need to walk through, there's the thing I need to do, there's the teacher I need to follow, there's the book I need to. I just need to walk through that door and get it. No, the gates are omnipresent. It's a very different way than walking through a gate. Yeah, Mumon also said, whatever enters through the gate is not the family treasure. Whatever is produced by the help of another is likely to dissolve and perish. One creates heaven and earth by oneself. So don't think you're going to walk through this gate and find something, or don't expect something to come out of that gate, say that temple gate, and meet you. It was one of our koan in the, I believe it's in the Blue Cliff record. Bring the triple gate over your head. How do you bring the triple gate over your head? Walk through the gate. The gate walks over you. I want to touch back into these saying, really a family teaching story, Dharma story from Layman Pang. I spoke about this in years past, so some of you have heard this. Those of you who haven't heard me talk about it might have heard it from another source. But it's just a beautiful Dharma Mondo conversation between this fellow, Layman Pang is his name. Layman Pang lived in the 8th century. I believe he was born in 740 and died in 808. So it's like right at kind of the beginning of the golden age of Zen, Tang dynasty. And he was a layman. He never ordained, but he did a lot of practice. I believe it was with Baso. And Baso wanted him to, I believe it was Baso, wanted him to stay and be a successor of his and be a senior in his monastery. And he said, no, monastic life isn't for me. I'm going to stay a layman. I'm not into like scripture or ceremony or all of that. But he had a lot of interactions with teachers and Baso and other teachers. In his lay life, he actually at one point put all his possessions onto a boat and lit it on fire and sent it off into the lake and just got rid of everything. And he actually was very poor for the rest of his life while he was raising 2 kids, a daughter and a son, along with his wife. And they supported themselves by selling bamboo baskets. They would weave them, I guess, and then sell them. That's how they made their living. And he's universally recognized as being extremely awakened. Has lots of really vibrant Dharma encounters with teachers and other monks that are still with us many centuries later. And even more beautifully, his family was very awakened as well. His wife was very evolved, and his daughter especially was extremely awakened being. But you could say even more than he was if you look at some of their encounters. But there's no more or less, when it comes to this. But this three-way exchange. The layman was sitting in his thatched cottage one day. Difficult, 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 he suddenly exclaimed. It's like trying to scatter 10 measures of sesame seed all over a tree. Easy, 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 replied Mrs. Pang. It's just like touching your feet to the ground when you get out of bed. Neither difficult nor easy, said Ling Chao, his daughter, on the 100 grass tips, the patriarch's meaning. So, what I see them talking about is practice, our practice. And I want to say, right off that all three are present for us. Okay, these are all three. These are all profound teachings, and they're all true. Okay, they're not exclusively true, but they are experientially true at times. Right? So, difficult, difficult. It's like trying to scatter a whole bunch of sesame seeds on the side of a tree. It's like, how's that going to work out? You try to cover a tree in sesame seeds. Kind of impossible, right? Yeah. Do you feel that way about your practice sometimes? Yeah. It's like I'm just, I'm trying to do something that's just not going to work. Just going against the grain. It's just not working. We struggle with our minds. We struggle with our, the pain of our experience. Yeah, sometimes there's just the struggle. I spoke last Monday in my Dharma talk about, Joshu's teaching, let go. Well, what if I don't have anything to let go of? And Joshu responds, well, carry it away. So I'll say, oh, what happens when I'm just struggling and I can't let go of it? Carry it away. Carry away the struggle. That would be difficult. Then Mrs. Pang says, easy, easy, easy. It's like, I don't use her exact words, they're so good. It's like touching your feet to the ground when you get out of bed. So natural, no thought, no struggle, before you know it, right? Right? The ordinary. That's what we do. That's what wants to happen. Someone opens the door for you, you say thank you. Someone needs help, you offer them help. You're hungry, you eat. You're thirsty, you drink. Easy. This is our practice too. Yeah. So maybe the first one is with reference to gates. Where's the gate? The gate's locked. The second one, easy, easy. Walk through the gate. The gate's open. And then we get to Ling Chao. Neither difficult nor easy. On the 100 grass tips, the patriarch's meaning. So, is anybody doing anything? Anybody getting out of bed? Anybody spreading sesame seeds on a bark? No. No practice needed. It's right here. In every moment, in every glint, in every sound, in every face. Not only is there nothing to be done, there's no one to do anything. Okay? So with reference to gates, there's no gate. And there's no one encountering the gate. All three. Experientially, you may find one is more present to you at any given time, typically. You know, that's kind of how it is, right? This is an easy stretch, or this is a difficult stretch. And this is a unified stretch. I'm gone, you know, that person's gone. Gendo's gone, Kudin's gone, Hodin's gone. Yeah. So usually one is primary. But it's all present. Okay, can we open ourselves up to that broader stream where they're all present? They're just currents within the stream that manifest with greater or lesser prominence within your consciousness. Can you actually hold that place where in the difficulty, okay, it's a difficult stretch, that's my primary experience, but then actually hold some level of consciousness and awareness of the easefulness. Like really feel it, not just remember it, not as a memory, but as a felt sense of that dimension of yourself, and then also the awareness of the real consciousness of the no self. Yeah, it's quite rich. It's quite rich. Right now, all of us are in some place Layman Pang wrote a few verses. The first verse is kind of about Ling Chao's neither difficult nor easy. Then the second one is about easy. And then the third one is about difficult. So it's kind of in the reverse order to the way I said it. I think it's very evocative. So, when the mind's as is, when the mind is as is, there's no real and also no unreal, giving no heed to existence and holding not to non-existence. You're neither saint nor sage, just an ordinary person who has settled their affairs. Easy, so easy. These very 5 skandhas make true wisdom. The 10 directions of the universe are the same one vehicle. How can the formless Dharmakaya be 2? If you cast off the passions to enter Bodhi, where will any Buddha lands be? And then, to preserve your life, you must destroy it. Having completely destroyed it, you dwell at ease. When you attain the inmost meaning of this, an iron boat floats upon water. sounds pretty difficult. There's like a project there, right? If you've got a project, having completely destroyed it, you dualities, and you know that's a dimension of it. That's a dimension of it. The difficulty of doing that, you know. And easy, the 10 directions of the universe are the same one vehicle. Okay, so just being natural. And then our Dharmakaya. Are as is. There's no real, no unreal, no existence, no non-existence, no saint, no sage. Just an ordinary person who has settled their affairs. So that's it. Qualities of practice. I guess I recommend not trying to make it one or the other. I want easy. I don't want difficult. And then I'm kind of scared of that whole oneness thing, so I'm just going to go with easy. Embrace as is. Embrace. Okay. That is omnipresent Dharma gates I vow to experience. That's my understanding. That's how I see that. So, thank you. Okay.